everyone. Thank you so much for logging on. Looks like Lord Rogers is having a little bit of trouble with our magic mirror. All right, now that we've got our magic mirror sorted out, it's so wonderful to see you on Fairy Tale Friday. While we're waiting for a few of you to log on, I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek for what we have planned today. Do you remember my friend Speed? He's one of my favorite friends, and we brought JeanBob. JeanBob always thinks that if he gets a kiss, he's going to turn into a prince. What do you think? And these are my crocodile friends. Do you remember them? JeanBob calls them the chompers. Because they go chomp chomp.
Gator says hi.
Hi, Gator! How did I know we'd have Gator for the Gators?
And Davis is here.
Hi, Davis! So I want to introduce my friend. This is Sir Shane, a wonderful knight from the kingdom of Scales and Tails.
Hi, I'm nice.
He is very nice. And since we couldn't have our friends JeanBob and Speed and our chompers here, we thought we'd bring some of their cousins so that everyone could learn some more about my friends. I've been talking about them for so long. It's about time someone meets them, right?
Absolutely. You want me to go grab them right now, or are you doing something while you're waiting for me to log on?
Oh, let's do it.
All right, let me go grab them.
I'm so excited, you guys. It's not every day you get to bring friends all the way from Swan Lake. Oh, he's beautiful. Or
Thank you. Oh, wait, you're talking about the toys.
Oh, well, you look lovely, too.
This is Shelley. Say hi, Shelley.
Hi, Shelley.
She's a sulcata tortoise from sub-Saharan Africa.
We kind of look alike.
Yeah, you kind of look alike. Now, your tortoise, turtle, land tortoises have back feet shaped like elephant feet, generally. They want to cruise around on land. Some people think tortoises sink, but they don't. Now, your guy is apparently a really fast swimmer.
He is. They call him Speed because he can swim so fast.
Oh, well
He's always getting me out of trouble. He gets me out when Rothbart locks me up.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Well, that would make him a water turtle. Let me bring her back. There we go.
She's blocking the runway just like a princess.
Now, that would make Speed a water turtle. This one's a land tortoise. Although some people think land tortoises sink, they don't. They can actually float. It's how giant tortoises got to islands like the Galapagos and the Seychelles. I've seen one of our tortoises go swimming in the swimming pool before.
In a swimming pool?
Yeah, but she's terribly slow. Actually, it was him. It was her boyfriend.
Do you think they'd make it across the castle moat?
They would definitely make it across the castle moat, definitely. Yeah, they can float along awkwardly. They don't dive and chase jellyfish like a water turtle might, but they can definitely go. But they can definitely swim.
You're living up to
but might
Speed's
float
name.
awkwardly. Now, these hooks on Shelley's arms here. See these hooks here?
They're like fingernails.
Yeah. Those are for tearing up dirt so she can dig a tunnel. She could dig a tunnel in your yard big enough to crawl into during hide and seek. Would that be a pretty cool game of hide and seek?
That would be amazing to go underground.
Yeah, totally awesome. Helps her hide from super hot days out in the African sun. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. It does get warm.
It's one of the biggest land tortoise species in the world. Third biggest in the world, and the biggest on any continent. The two bigger on islands. They're the Aldabra and the Galapagos tortoises. There we go. They can get to be 500 pounds. She's not even 100 pounds. She's maybe 50 or so pounds, okay, at best.
That's okay. Some of us are small.
Now, she is, well, come on back. She likes to eat grass. Do you like to eat grass?
So I like to eat leaves.
Leaves? Oh, well, you know.
I like salad.
To each their own. Yeah, to each their own. Grass has a lot of fiber in it. You'd be real regular. So, these guys here eat grass. She'll eat all sorts of things, but grass is what's best for her. So, she's the best lawnmower I've ever had because she slices and dices grass at this end at the same time as she fertilizes the lawn from this end.
I love it.
And she's eco-friendly. She does all that without using any gasoline. As a matter of fact, she actually produces some gas.
Self-sustaining.
Yeah, that's right. And yes, she can absolutely tuck her head inside of her shell. See, when I poke her nose, her head goes inside. Oh, that's not her head. Okay, we turn her around. Ugh, there we go. Her head can go inside of her shell. And then she'll block them with her arms. But she doesn't want to crawl in all the way right now. She does not want to go quarantine right now. She wants to come out and party. Yeah. Now, her shell.
He's always hiding things inside his shell. Can they put things in their shells or
her
just
shell is her back. She can't jump out of her shell and run around in her underwear like a Mario Brothers. Okay? Her shell is her back. First, the outside layer is fingernail stuff. You touch your fingernails, same stuff, called keratin. Okay? But right underneath that is her backbone and her ribs. If you scooped her out of the shell, she would not survive. But if you could look down inside the shell, you would see her backbone pieces, her vertebrae, right down here. And they look like vertebrae, they're just stuck. Yours have joints between each of them that let you dance. Hers are stuck. You'd also see her ribs and how they grew together. But there's a problem with that. Her shoulder blades are the little bones in the back of your arm, back there, that make your arm work. Her shoulder blades have to be inside her rib cage. So her arms are actually upside down and inside out. That's why her feet go underneath like the elephant feet that can hold her up. But her arms look like she's swimming. It's because her arms are upside down and inside out.
Sometimes I feel like my arms are upside down and inside out too.
Yeah, that's a major reason they go so much slower than they would if they had full range of motion in their arms. Shoulder blades are inside their ribs. But yeah, the shell is their ribs.
That's amazing.
Isn't it though? There she goes. She's chomping away with that beak. She doesn't have teeth. She has a beak. And so she can chew up the grass.
Like our friend Puffin or our friend Felix the Falcon.
There
He
you
has
go.
a great big beak.
Exactly, exactly. And she loves dandelions. Dandelions are her favorite because she loves to eat those bright yellow flowers.
And Prince Derek just pulled them out of the yard this morning.
Man,
You should have
could've
saved the dandelions.
Yeah. Or put them in your salad. You can eat dandelions. They're good for you.
That's true, but I hear they taste really bitter.
They're a little bit
I have
bitter,
a bit
yeah.
more of a sweet tooth.
A little bitter, yeah. I've got too much of a sweet tooth. That's why I'm shaped the way I'm shaped.
I think we're all shaped a little bit that way after quarantine.
Yeah. Now, she's, or like I said, she's going to dig a big old hole, big enough for you kids to crawl into, okay? A hole, and she'll do that to hide from the hot sun and to hide from predators. Where she comes from, there are things like lions and hyenas. Hyenas have some of the strongest bites of any mammal, okay? So they can chew up and swallow and eat bone, okay? But that means they also poop out some bone. And she has a shell made out of bone, so she has to eat some calcium, okay? So she'll sometimes eat hyena poop.
She eats hyena poop?
A little
Gross.
bit to try and get that calcium supplement.
How long does she live?
So those guys can go over 100 years. So it's a pretty long-lived tortoise. Now some tortoises, a lot of people think all tortoises live that long. Not all of them live that long. We have some redfoots, those go about 40 years. But those guys can get close to 100 years. Precise numbers are hard when you get to a long-lived species like that because you have to have a couple generations keep checking records, keep track. And it's not always as reliable as you would like it to be. But yeah, 100-ish years.
I wonder how old Speed is. I haven't asked him. We've
You
thrown
should
him
ask him.
birthday parties, but there's too many candles to put on a cake. I should ask him.
They make those cake candles now that are numbers, so you could just totally put 2 candles on, or in his case maybe 3. 3 candles on.
All of the candles.
All of the candles, yeah. Otherwise, it's a fire hazard. It's just you're gonna have to have a fireman there for the birthday if you're gonna have that many candles out there, huh?
How old is Shelley?
Well, let's see here. We got Shelley about 5 years ago, and I believe she was about 15 at the time, if I remember right. So she's about 20. A gentleman raised her from a baby, and he did a great job, and he loved her a whole bunch. But these guys don't do winter. They can't brumate, which is the reptile equivalent of hibernating. Okay. Some tortoises, like a Russian tortoise, can crawl underneath the ground far enough the frost can't get them. There's no food down there. So, for example, the Russian tortoise will go underground for 9 months, just laying around not eating. Now, brumating isn't sleeping like a hibernating mammal. Okay, they're just slowed down. So it's more like laying around being lazy, not doing anything. Okay, underground all the time, not doing anything. But in the summertime, in the springtime, they come up and he runs around and tries to eat as much as he can because he has to get fat enough to survive the winter, and it's not easy to get fat on salad like they eat. Okay, like I said, I did it with tacos, and then they get a couple of dates, which is more dates than I get in a year. Then they go back underground again. It's a very similar lifestyle that some people I know spend all their time hiding underground in their parents' basement. Then once a year, they come out for a mass migration called Comic-Con. It's a breeding ritual, and then they go back underground again, and they spend the rest of the time back underground again. Okay. Now, some tortoises can do that. This one cannot do that. They don't do that. They don't know how, or their body's not made to be able to brumate for a long time. Okay, they can handle pretty cold temperatures for a reptile because they can't make themselves warm. If I put a coat on her or a blanket, she won't warm up, but she can tolerate temperatures
can't
down
make
into
her
the
a
40s.
sweater?
No, well you could, but it won't do her any good. Just look fashionable. That's it.
But she can already walk the
Yeah.
runway.
But she can hang out all naked like that in 40 degrees. That's pretty cold.
That's really cold.
Now, she doesn't want to hang out that cold, but she definitely wants to go out and warm in the sunshine, but she can tolerate it. I heard there was a question.
Well, Jacob says that he relates the turtle to Finding Nemo, even though those ones swim.
That
Just
is,
like
yeah,
Crush.
that's That's a water turtle. Okay, that's a sea turtle. And there's several
Dude.
sea turtle species, including things like a loggerhead, which is my favorite one to say. And then there are green sea turtles. Leatherbacks are the biggest sea turtle in the world. They can get to be more than 1,000 pounds. It's a lot of pounds.
I hope I'm less than that.
Yeah, it's a lot of pounds. And then, let's see, what else are there? Ridley's sea turtle, Hawksbill's sea turtle. Is that all? I can't remember anymore. You remember? Do you know any? I think that's
most
them.
of the ones I've met, I learned from my friend Ariel the mermaid. She spends most of her time with leatherbacks.
She does, okay. Yep, and they like to eat, a lot of the sea turtles like to eat jellyfish. But don't you eat jellyfish, because they've got a little bit of a zip. They call it a sting. So, all right, well, I heard you have another question.
Well, Emily misses the Swan Princess.
Oh, I miss you too. It's been a whole week. And I'm so excited to see you again. I'm so glad we get to make new friends too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we love to make friends, and we can bring more friends by whenever you guys want. Oh,
Will she get taller?
Oh, that's
well,
a good question.
I don't know. How tall are you? And have you reached your maximum height yet?
I keep thinking I'm going to get taller, but it's a good thing I have Prince Derek to reach the top of the cupboard for me because I can't reach it.
Now, there you go. Now that we know
I'm
she's not going to
5
get any
feet
taller.
and no inches.
Were they talking about the tortoise?
I think they were talking about the tortoise,
Okay.
though. Though Felix the Falcon has made all of the short jokes he can about me already.
Oh, yeah? So, this tortoise, she's going to get bigger, which will make her slightly taller, but a lot of her size will be bigger around, maybe a little longer. And so she's not going to gain a ton of height. Her boyfriend is, he's more than twice as big as she is. He's about 100 pounds, maybe a little over it right now. And he's a good size animal, but this species can get to be more than 200 pounds. So they can weigh as much as I do, if not more. But that's if it's a really, really big one. In this species, the girls aren't as big as the boys. Yeah, she loves to eat that grass.
She does, and I think she's smiling for him too. Look at her making eye contact with our friends.
Now
She is a good
lots of cool.
princess.
Oh, yeah, there are lots of cool turtles and tortoises. That Russian tortoise I was talking about, they went into outer space. Did you know that?
I didn't.
So Russia had to send something into outer space that could survive without food because they were seeing if things could survive in outer space before we put people into outer space. And nobody was up there to feed the tortoise, so that's why they chose the Russian tortoises. And they sent 2 of them up, and they came back, and they were okay. And they got to go to outer space before people did.
That's
I
amazing.
would love to go to outer space. Do any of you kids want to go to outer space?
Maybe we could all go to outer space. It would be so much fun, or at least meet an astronaut.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
We met a unicorn. They fly in space.
Oh, really? All the way in outer space?
Uh-huh.
How do they breathe?
I don't know. I forgot to ask.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't ask any of the right questions.
Okay, well, do you want to see something else, or do you want
Do
to...
we have another friend?
We do have another friend if you would like to meet another friend.
I would love to. I always love making new friends.
All right, sounds
Ezra loves this tortoise.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
so
yeah?
glad, Ezra.
She has a couple of sister wives back at the shop, and they are, this is Shelley, and we also have Shalina Gomez and Shalene Dion. Okay?
I love it.
All right, I'll be right back. They're all about the same age and same size. All right.
They should start a singing group.
Yeah, we got this one, like I said, the gentleman that had her, his wife eventually got tired of winter time when she had to come in and couldn't stay out in the cold, taking over the garage where she wanted to park her car so she could come in out of her car without the cold. And so she said, you have to get rid of your tortoise. So she moved in with us.
I'd rather have a tortoise friend than carriage parking any day.
Yeah.
Haley wants to go to outer space, but Emily doesn't.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Oh, he's beautiful, just like JeanBob.
Yeah. Okay, we have, there we go. We have 2 of these guys, but I only brought one today. This is Lick. The other one's called Morty. Okay? All right. Now, this guy here, and he just peed. Oh, he peed. You guys want some of that? Because that's imported from, actually, it's just imported from Arizona. That's where these guys are from, is Arizona.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and then
I
a
think we've got
little
some
bit of New
friends from
Mexico
Arizona on
and into
here.
Mexico. Yeah.
I know a few of our princesses logging in tonight that are from Arizona.
Really? Oh, that's fantastic. It's called the Sonoran toad, or it's also called the Colorado River toad. This hangs out by the Colorado River. Science is easy. Okay? I think it looks like Hypnotoad from a TV show I watched when I was young. Okay? Now, this one is a toad, not a frog. Okay? And it's kind kind of hard to tell on this guy because toads often have lumpier skin. This one has smooth skin, kind of like a frog would have.
They're both green.
They're both green. They can be all sorts of colors. Poison dart frogs can be neon yellows and neon blues and neon all sorts of colors.
All of the rainbow colors.
That's
I love
right.
it.
That's called aposematic coloration. Okay, that means bright contrast because some animals don't see in color, but they need them to know that they're really, really bright. Okay, the reason they need them to know that is because they protect themselves with poison. Poison.
That's scary.
Yeah, it's pretty scary, huh? And in English, poison is different from venom because venom has to get into your blood to work. So if you eat some cobra venom, as long as you don't have a sore in your mouth or your stomach, you should be okay. There are even some people, there's some guys that put cobra venom in their drinks to drink because it's amazing what boys will do to impress girls, okay? So they'll put the venom in their drink. Now, poison will get you if you do swallow it, okay? And that's what a lot of them have. The poison dart frogs are bright colors because if nobody knows you have a powerful poison, they might chew you up, then you die, then they die, everybody dies, nobody wins. It doesn't help.
I wonder if that's why Rothbart's always wearing such bright colors.
Maybe. Scares them off.
Yes, he's very scary.
Yeah, that's perfect because they have to protect themselves and they need you to know they're dangerous. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It's called mutually assured destruction, okay? Any of your parents that grew up in the 80s will know all about mutually assured destruction, okay? All right, tell me all about, what's the question?
Well, Felix says yummy frog legs.
Oh, Felix, you can't eat my
But
friends.
somebody wants to know, how can you tell a frog from a toad?
That's a great question. I also want to talk about the frog's legs thing because there's an invasive species of frog that lives here in Utah where we're at, where I'm at, okay? It's going to be, they let them go because they brought them in to eat frog's legs. Turns out people didn't want to eat frog legs. And then they let them go and they started living in cattle troughs. And so now they live here and they're not supposed to, and they're eating the frogs that are supposed to live here. So frogs' legs are a food some people eat, but apparently in the West we don't want to eat them, okay?
Because frogs are our friends.
Frogs are our friends, okay? Some ways to tell the difference. Okay.
Emery and Lily want to know if the toad is slimy or smooth.
It's a little bit slimy. Actually, he's drying out a little bit, so he's a little bit sticky now, but he's usually a little bit slimy, okay?
And Zoe says he is not cute.
Mucus, okay. Yep, it's mucus. Okay, so these guys can't, well, actually, we should do one question at a time. Let's jump
Okay,
back to the one
let's
we
go
had
to the
before.
frog and the toad.
The frog and the toad. Okay, a few things. Okay, often toads are more lumpy, but that's not more warty, but that's not perfect. You can't get warts from holding them, though. Okay, they're just more lumpy. This guy's got smoother skin, so that's kind of an exception here. Frogs often have longer legs for long, jumpy hops. Okay, these guys have short legs. By the way, those poison dart frogs I was talking about, in captivity they don't have poison because they have to get their poison from whether food they eat, and they eat different food in captivity. Okay, so shorter legs makes this guy a toad. Here's another thing, a parotoid gland. Can you say parotoid gland?
Parotoid gland.
Okay, that's this guy right here. You see these little lumps right behind his eyes?
Yes, they kind of look like ears.
Yeah. Okay, those secrete a poison. Let's see if I can get some out. Sometimes I can get a little bit out. Oh, no, he didn't like it. He didn't like it.
It's like a pimple.
Yeah, kind of. Okay, and that's a poison. Oh, he's not going to do it. That's where his poison are. Now, there are poisonous frogs that secrete it in their skin. He didn't like that at all. But these guys have these special parotoid glands. Sometimes those glands make a poison that's so dangerous that it can kill you. Okay, this guy, his is dangerous enough to kill smaller things that might want to eat him, like a raven or something. But something as big as a person,
Watch out, Felix.
yeah, if you lick this toad, then you have some serious problems. You need to talk to his counselor. Okay, but he will make you hallucinate because the poison isn't as powerful on big creatures like us. He'll make you hallucinate. I heard about a frog that really wanted somebody to kiss him, turn him into a prince.
That's JeanBob. That was
That's
going to be our
JeanBob.
biggest question. If we kissed the frog, would he turn into a prince?
Well, first, I think that whatever princess was trying to kiss a frog, whether it be you or anybody else, may have mixed them up and accidentally kissed a desert toad, or a Sonoran toad, because it makes them hallucinate. So he didn't turn into a prince, but she thought he did.
She thought he turned into a
Thought he
prince.
turned into a prince.
That must be what happened to JeanBob. He always thinks he's turning into a prince.
Is that what it is?
But he's a very small green prince.
That's hilarious. So those are some of the differences between frogs and toads. Now, I wanted to talk about that skin. You see, remember with the keratin we were talking about that's on the outside of the turtle shell? It's also what your hair is made out of and your fingernails, and it's what bird feathers are made out of, and it's what rhinoceros horns are made out of. It's all over in nature. But amphibians like frogs and toads and salamanders don't have it. Okay? Obviously, he doesn't have any hair, he doesn't have any scales, he doesn't have any feathers. But we also have it, us humans, we have it built into our skin. So when we use sanitizer, sanitizer can kill germs, But this keratin in our skin protects our skin from the sanitizer. But if you use sanitizer on him, his skin will suck it up and make him sick. If you look at a pond and there are no frogs, toads, or salamanders, there's a good chance somebody spilled something dangerous in that pond. And these guys got the brunt of it because they sucked it all up and it made them super sick.
It doesn't block anything.
It doesn't block anything. Their skin sucks up all sorts of things. I have to be careful about my hands that I didn't put anything dangerous on my hands before I hold this toad in order to avoid that.
Imagine what would happen if you sucked up everything you touched. I was trying to think of everything I touched. I touched some crayons today.
Right.
I'd be colorful.
Yeah. Yeah, I before the quarantine, I touched some pretty shady characters, but I shook their hand. Yeah, but I don't touch shady characters anymore because I don't want to get coronavirus. All right, you want to hold it now. He's going to try to crawl out. He's going to try and jump out, okay? It's a pretty hard fall for him, so you have to really resist his trying to get away from
you are a good jumper.
Yeah, and you see this little disc behind his eye?
Yeah.
That's his eardrum. That's how he hears, so he can hear you for sure. Oh, careful. He's an escaper.
Got him.
He's a crawler.
JeanBob he jumps high and far, but he's always running into things.
Oh, that's because JeanBob is a frog. This guy's a toad. He does more like little hops and walks.
You do little hops. He is very strong.
He is a pretty strong
I know
toad.
that Felix is going to start teasing me for having weak hands, but he is a lot stronger than you would think.
He really is. It's hard to hang on. In fact, we have to be careful with new people that work with us because they'll think they've gotten used to it because they're used to holding things like lizards, and then they'll get one of these guys like, ah! And then it's a long fall for him. He can't take a long fall as well as a frog that's used to jumping long ways. And
frogs seem to have all their limbs, they go to the front and the back straight, and his kind of come out all in 4 diagonal directions. It pulls your hands apart.
I guess I hadn't really thought about it, but that makes sense to me. And they'll eat about anything they can overpower. If they can fit in that mouth, he's got a big mouth. It starts from here and goes all the way to here and goes, bah! He'll eat all sorts of things. He'll eat mice and he'll eat bugs, and he would even eat another frog just like himself. If he can fit it in his mouth, he'll eat it. And he doesn't have a valve back there. It's just a big open hole to his stomach. A big hole to his stomach, okay?
Sometimes I think Prince Derek has one of those.
Big
I wonder if
hole
any of our Prince Charmings has one of those.
I heard a question.
Well, several people want Odette to kiss the frog.
I hear that makes you hallucinate. As fun as that would be, I would rather stay with my feet on this ground to get to talk with all of you.
It would continue to be fun for the rest of us.
That's true.
Actually, so these guys have different rules in different states because of that. In some states, they just don't have any rules. They're like, it's a toad, you can have a toad. Some states say, okay, you can have the toad, but if we think you're doing anything illicit with the toad, like licking your toad, then we're going to take it away and you go to jail. And then in some states they say, you just can't have the toad because we're afraid you're all going to lick your toads, and you guys are weird.
So we can tell JeanBob that no one's giving him a kiss, not because he's a frog, but because it's illegal to give a frog a kiss.
Depends on the state you're in, but you should probably move to one of those states because, it's consent and all. All right.
He has beautiful eyes.
Well, thank you.
I think he would get more kisses, even making you hallucinate. I think he's probably gotten more kisses than John.
Yeah, entirely possible.
I forgot to ask, what is his name?
Oh, I mentioned it earlier. This is Lick, and he lives with
Lick, I remember.
Lick. He lives with another one named Morty.
Emily needs to know the Swan Princess' favorite color.
Oh, my favorite color. I like gold like my necklace, and I do love blue. It reminds me of Swan Lake. I love the water. Just like Lick does.
Oh, fantastic.
We have something in common, Lick.
Yeah. All right. Now,
more than just pretty eyes.
Now, they do need to stay moist because they will dry out and turn into jerky, whereas we can walk away from a pond and not turn into jerky, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So they need to stay somewhat moist, but some more than others. And there are some that just walk around on humid forest floors, like in the jungle where it's humid everywhere, and then they just cruise into little water spots to lay their eggs. But it's just humid enough that they stay moist. But if these guys dry out...
Me, I had to go back to Swan Lake every night and turn into a swan.
There you go.
And if I didn't, I couldn't be a human.
Exactly like that. Exactly
so
like that.
So he has to stay on the water too, or he doesn't get to be a toad.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. If I get a sunburn, I put on some aloe vera. And if he gets a sunburn, it's the end of everything for him.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Yeah. Mike? All right. Well.
Thank you. Can everyone say thank you, Lick?
All right. Let me go and see what else I've got over there.
Okay. I can't wait.
Come here, Lick. Where are you? Here you are.
Maybe it's because I'm such good friends with JeanBob, but there's just something about a frog's face that's so cute.
Okay. Are you ready for the next one?
I think so.
Okay. Now I've got to think. I'm from Utah. Okay, I don't know where you're from.
I'm from Swan Lake.
You're from Swan Lake. Okay. So in Utah, it's against the law to have this next animal at all. Okay.
Do they eat swans?
They definitely eat a swan if they have a chance.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Yeah. It is against the law to have one of these. So are you with me to break a law?
Sure, I think, unless it eats me.
Well. No, you don't want to break the law. You seriously want to break the law? In fact, if you want to break the law, do you want to go to the bank with me later?
No.
Just kidding. Cool life hack. If you do what you're supposed to do, do what your parents tell you to, there you go. Do all the stuff the doctors tell you to, then if you have a good reason, sometimes you get to break the rules and do things nobody else gets to do. And that's
So
what
much
we get to
fun.
do. Okay? All right.
I know these guys. We have two of them outside my castle.
You do?
JeanBob calls them chompers because they go chomp, chomp.
That's a great name for them. Yeah.
They kind of look the same.
They do. This guy's name is Hornet because he's as mean as a hornet. But don't worry, he's not a murder hornet.
Oh, good. Oh, that means I can't cross anything off on Apocalypse.
All right. Now, this guy came from a pretty rough life. By the way, he is an American alligator, okay? And he is way too small for his age. Yeah, he was with somebody that had him
That's
illegally.
okay, me too.
Well, he's not supposed to be this small, though, okay? So somebody had him, and they threw him into a little tiny aquarium. Now, the size of the aquarium doesn't change anything about his size, but if you don't get enough food, you can get your growth stunted. And he's too small. He's almost 10 years old, okay? At 10 years old, he should be probably 7 or 8 feet long, possibly longer if he's got good genetics. He's not nearly that big, so he didn't get nearly enough food. They threw in a few goldfish for him, and what he could catch is what he could eat. He shared that aquarium with the turtle. The turtle was also super hungry. So the turtle decided to be enterprising and adapt, and he ate part of our alligator. And so he's missing toes. Okay? He's had some of his toes amputated. Look at this. Okay? For an alligator, losing back toes is pretty tough because those are the feet he steers with in the water. When he wants to swim, you see that flat tail? He pushes that back and forth through the water. Okay? Then he steers with his back feet. This one looks a little bit more complete, but it's still missing some toes. Okay? And so he can still steer, but it's a little bit tougher. It just means he has to work harder at it. And he's overcome that. He's got no problems. He's a champ at overcoming his adversity. It also bit off some bits of his tail. See, look at that.
But look how pretty he still is.
Yeah, not the tip. It's that chunk right there in the middle.
He may be missing a few pieces, but he still looks beautiful.
Oh, he's absolutely gorgeous. In fact, I think he's prettier than our big hole gator at the shop. Look at that smiling face.
How old is he?
Oh, like I said, he's 9 to 10 years old right now. He's almost 10. Okay? But he's not supposed to be this small. He should be much bigger. He's had a hard life, and yet he's still tough, and he still goes out and has a good time because he's awesome. He's missing part of this toe here. Now, they always only have 3 claws.
I know a lot of heroes like that too.
Yeah?
They can still have a really great time, even if we've had some tough time before.
That's fantastic. Those are the bravest, coolest people, and the ones I like to hang out with the most. I love to see people like that because they make me feel stronger. Okay, you see how crocodiles and alligators only have 3 claws. So this one was chomped off. Okay, these two aren't supposed to have claws. This one's all the way there, but this one was bitten off too. Okay, so he's missing these 2 digits. This one's here and this one's normal, and these 2 are normal. Okay, on the back it's the same thing, but they only have 4 toes on the back if they had toes at all. But he has no toes now. Okay. But super brave, like some of the people. Tell me about these people that you know that are this brave.
They are amazing.
I'd love to hang out with them.
We'll have to all hang out together sometime when
That
we can
would
all
be
come out of
awesome.
our castles.
That would be awesome.
They are so brave. Some of them have been through so many battles that I know
Really?
I wouldn't have made it through. It's way worse than Rothbard. And they
Oh,
still
really?
smile just like this guy.
Wow.
And they still love to dance and they love to party with us.
Oh, that makes me feel super brave.
Isn't that so
knowing that-
wonderful? All of you like to party with us too, right? You're all the bravest princes and princesses I know.
Well, you want to learn some more cool stuff about alligators?
I do. He
Okay.
isn't blinking. Is that normal?
He just doesn't need to, right? He's keeping an eye on you. Well, let me talk about those, okay? Let me look here. Can you get a good look? his eyes stick up, and so does his nose, and his ears are the slits behind his eyes. So he can poke out all of them out of the water like periscopes on a submarine, while the rest of him hides under the water. But it makes his eyes exposed. It looks like, man, if he bit me, I'd just stick my thumb in his eye, right? Except he can actually duck his eyes down inside of his head to hide them.
Oh my goodness.
Is that pretty cool?
They just disappear.
Yeah, now he's got eyelids like yours, top and bottom. But he's also got a third one we don't have called the nictitating membrane, okay? Yeah, now all humans actually have a little leftover one. It just doesn't work. We all have a disabled part. And it's the inside little gummy thing that looks like inside of your eye. See the little weird looking thing right in here? Okay, that's what that is. So his is a full on.
That is amazing.
So when I open his eyes, he's going to open his top and bottom eyelid, and then right away he'll open his third eyelid, the nictitating membrane, the clear one he can blink on like swimming goggles, and it'll go front to back. So watch for it. Did you see it?
That was amazing.
There it is.
I know he has some swimmers. Do you have goggles like he does? I bet they aren't built in though.
Yeah, here's some more. I heard some people wanted to know about alligators versus crocodiles.
Yes.
Okay, well, there are a few ways to tell, okay? First off, crocodiles can spend time in salt water. Alligators can, like this, they can swim in salt water, but they can't live in it because they can't drink it, okay? Alligators can't, or caiman, which are like alligators. So, crocodiles have special glands on their tongue, salt glands, for excreting salt because they get too much salt in their system, okay? Alligators do not. So if you want to know if it's an alligator or a crocodile, you just open that mouth, stick your head in there, and get a good close look at their tongue, and have a look to see if that's an alligator or a crocodile.
Well, my friend JeanBob has gotten up close and personal like that, but he always thinks they're going to eat it. Would he eat a frog?
He would definitely eat a frog, yes, absolutely. He would eat a frog in a second.
JeanBob better watch out.
There's another way. There's another way. We can be safe, okay? We can think of another way. Okay, see the little black dots on his lips that make him look like he has a 5 o'clock shadow? Yeah.
Am I okay this close?
Yeah. As long as you don't. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Are you trying to scare Lord Rogers?
I will tell you if you're too close. All right. So those little black dots on his lips, those are called integumentary sense organs. You can say ISO for short. They sense water motion, salinity, temperature, pH. You can see them on the top lips and the bottom lips.
Like having fingertips on your face?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, except even more sensitive than your fingertips. He can sense all. If the water's so murky he couldn't see you and you couldn't see him, he still knows where you are because he can feel the environment through those. Okay?
JeanBob better be extra careful.
Yeah. Alligators and crocodiles only have them on their heads. Sorry, alligators and caiman only have them on their heads. Crocodiles have them on all of the scales of their body. Now, since they're black, you can't see them on the back. But on white scales, like on the belly, you could see them. This is an alligator, so he does not have black dots on his belly. Okay? But a crocodile would have a black dot on every belly. So if you want to know if it's an alligator or a crocodile, you walk over, flip it over on its back, and have a good close look at its belly scales, okay? But that's not going to work either, huh?
I'm not sure we could do that either.
You can get close and measure the limb length. Alligators have longer limbs. Is that going to work?
Maybe
Probably
if we had a very, very long tape measure.
Okay, there is another safer way to tell an alligator from a crocodile, okay? One will see you later, the other will see you in a while.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
In a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator.
That's right. And then if you want a good one...
So do you just say both to be safe? If you don't know if it's an alligator or a crocodile, you say it both ways so as to not offend them.
Yeah, that might work, yeah. Or you can just have a look at this. An alligator, when they close their mouth, has an overbite. Their top teeth all come down from the top. So when his mouth is closed, all the teeth you can see are coming down. Okay? Crocodile teeth line up better, and they'll crisscross. So you'll see some teeth coming up and some teeth going down. But there's a really important spot, a really important tooth, okay? You have to, let me secure him so I can get a finger in here. Behind the nostril, if it's a crocodile, right here and right here, there'll be a notch in his top jaw, on the top of his mouth, okay? There you go. And there'll be a big tooth that comes up through there inside each of those notches right here and here. Alligators still have that big tooth. In fact, if I can get him to open his mouth, I'll try. He's pretty strong. Okay, you can see the bigger one. It's a few teeth back. Come on, hold still. And there, don't get close on that. Okay, see that big tooth right there? But he has a hidey hole inside the top there that he can hide that tooth with. Crocodiles don't.
You can see it. That's incredible.
Crocodiles don't hide that tooth. They just show it off with a notch in the top of their mouth. Okay, caiman are like alligators. They're more closely related to alligators, so they're like that. They're like the alligator. Okay, they only have the integumentary sense organs on their head, and they have the tooth hidden. Okay, 74 to 80 teeth, all shaped like daggers. His teeth are not as tough as our teeth. He hasn't got enamel in his teeth to make his teeth so tough they last a long time. So sometimes
that's what happens if we don't brush our teeth.
That's right.
That's why it's so important to brush our teeth when our mom and dad tell us to.
Unless you're an alligator. You see, when he wears out his teeth, or sometimes when he's grabbing food, they'll break off teeth. Hang on, Tensy. Okay, he'll break off teeth. Oh, you're okay. I was more worried about her because he slashes sideways. Okay, and he loves to eat swans. All right.
Oh.
So he'll break off teeth, but he grows new ones, and he can grow new ones over and over and over again. An alligator will go through thousands of teeth in their lifetime.
Goodness, I bet he makes so much money from the tooth fairy.
Exactly, and he never has to brush his teeth because he saves a lot of money on dental insurance. Just gets a new
That's
tooth.
amazing.
Tell me about it, right?
How do I get that?
I would love that deal. We get one free set.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I've already gone through mine. All right, so he's got that going for him. He has a better heart than our heart. Reptiles have 3 chambers in their heart. Mammals have 4 chambers, and he has a valve, so he has both. He can have 3 chambers or 4 chambers, whichever one he wants. Okay? He has better lungs than our lungs. He has lungs like bird lungs. They're actually more closely related to birds than they are to lizards, even though they don't look like birds.
He's an amazing singer.
He's a terrible singer. Actually, no, he's a really good singer. These guys will do
Is that
something
why
called
you've never sang with me, no
Yeah.
matter how many times I sing out the castle windows?
He's actually a bass below any bass you've ever heard. You see, these guys can do what's called a bellow. When they do it, they do a water dance. They put their back right under the water. And when they do it, it makes the water rumble so hard that the water on his back dances around on his back. Okay? And the rumble, you can look it up on YouTube, but it won't be the same because you hear it, but you don't know it until you feel it. Because he has something called infrasound. That's where there's sound you can't even hear, but it's so low it moves through the ground and gets into your bones and shakes you from the inside. Okay? So you feel the